At times in business, when we think things are not going like we planned, we think we need more clients. Sometimes we think we need more sales. Sometimes think we need more funding or money into the business, and sometimes we even think we need more tech in the business to do better. Well, in a few situations, this might be true. A lot of times, you don't need more of anything. You just need to manage and optimize what you have better. And that will be the topic of today's podcast with Jon Weberg. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you for having me. We're going to go through a lot of the stuff that I am excited to talk about because so many people, like you're saying, they think they need, let's run new ads. Let's run new this. There's a new trend going on. Let's hop on that. And you're missing so much of what makes actually the majority of money for businesses to grow and scale and all this other great stuff.
Yeah. So you talk about conversion rate optimization. What is that about? Because I see it a lot, CRO and all that. I know a lot of business owners might see it and they might not know, or some of them might have an idea. So just tell us, yeah, what
Right.
that's about.
Simply put, it's a way to improve the rate at which an action is taken within your business, a desired action. So that could be anything. It could be anything from the rate at which someone sees your ad and clicks on the button to purchase or to go to your landing page. It can be the rate at which, and optimizing the rate of which someone goes to your landing page and becomes a lead, or the rate at which a lead becomes a customer. And these different things can be optimized, and that is called conversion optimization. Of course, it's not fun, it's not new, it's not trendy, but being able to raise your conversion rates and do conversion optimization means, you know, you're probably about every business is about 3 to 5 doublings away from like 10x, literally 10xing what they're making. Because people say, oh, 10x. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, literally. An example of this is, think about, if right now most people have a landing page and it gets 20% of the people who see it become a lead. If we can get to that to 30 or 40%, that'd be an instant. At 40%, that'd be doubling the amount of leads you're generating. If you're getting double the amount of leads, you should generate double the amount of customers. So right there, that's a 2x in profit. Literally, if you can split test and optimize, you get a higher performing uh, lead or viewer to lead rate. That's just one. That's one. So if you want to double what you're making, just there's some things we can walk through of specifically what to do to get that rate higher. If you then take a look at the percent of people who become a lead who buy, which usually across the industry it's 1 to 3% of leads, 1 to 3% of leads actually purchase. Well, if you can get to 3 to 6%, which is more than doable, that's another instant literal 2x in what you're making. So any single one of these changes, and that's not including how long you retain customers, how much your customer spends with you in total, getting people to return to checkout carts. There's so many of these different things that if you optimize 2 or 3 of them, your business is, you're going to be very happy. Your spouse is going to be very happy. Your employees can be very happy. You are doing very, very well because instead of launching, we need a whole new set of ad creatives. Make a couple changes, watch as people come through, make a couple changes. That's much better. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you talk about improving your profits and while spending less on advertising, and I think it's part of what you mentioned now, increasing your
Yep.
viewer to lead rate, your lead to buyer rate. Although it's really, I think when you said 1% of buyers, 1% of leads buyers, that was,
Mm-hmm.
it was annoying to hear.
Yeah, I get it. Most people, in some cases, it's lower for most businesses because they don't follow
Oh,
up. Right. It really can be. That's the average metric of most industries is 1 to 3%, which most people go, I need a lot more leads. I need to convert a lot more because otherwise my business is not. Which is why there's a need for this because most people then go, oh, I need to launch, hire someone, do all these different things, and that costs you more money. So you first have to spend money to then maybe see this new entire ad set perform well. Where I'm saying, just do a couple of these changes, you're going to see a humongous amount of growth without having to like spend any more money. And kind of if people are looking to, well, I want to make one of these changes, but which one do I make? Because that's a huge point too that people
Yeah.
come to me with is, what do I actually do? What's the one or two different things that are going to make the biggest difference? Because I don't want to run 80 split tests, you know, although it takes a while, but it does really well. If there's probably most important metrics, by far the most important metrics to optimize to make perform better is going to be, like I said, number one, that viewer to lead conversion rate. So the rate at which people become leads of your landing page, people call different names for it, your lead capture page, whatever you are using to generate leads, that rate must be your main focus, because leads is the life and blood of your business. Without leads, doesn't matter how good your funnel is, doesn't matter how good your sales is, doesn't matter how good anything else is, you don't have people to talk to in the first place. So first and foremost, your lead rate is number one. What you can do to optimize that is, number one, adding social proof on landing pages, adding testimonials on landing pages next to any buttons that has been shown to universally increase conversion rates across the board. Always adding social proof or testimonials next to a button, because as someone goes to take the action of purchasing, becoming a lead, etc., it's a instant. You go to a button, you go, I'm not sure, and then boom, positivity supporting it immediately. That's the first thing. Secondly, I would actually say being able to increase how much your customer spends with you over time drastically, because the vast majority of businesses that I talk to have, one to maybe three maximum products in their what they offer. Sometimes it's just one. For example, there's a lot of agencies, people who have marketing agencies, who have, one main service. I am an email marketing agency. I am an ads agency. But when you have, let's just say I'm an agency, I'm doing well, I have tons of clients coming through, I sell my agency services for $5,000 a month, and I have tons of clients and customers, but I want to grow. If you have one downsell, and I did this with Frank Kern's agency. Frank Kern is the OG of digital marketing. Shout out Frank Kern. I was his head sales consultant. If you add one single downsell of, hey, you cannot afford, for people who come to you and want to work with you, they cannot afford your main service. Instead of spending $5,000, what if I said I could teach you how to do everything that we would do as an agency, but it would only be $2,000? And you can pay half up front and half after 30 days or 60 days. We did that in Frank Kern's agency. That generated almost as much money as the agency services, which is huge. Whoa. Because the vast, right, that's almost doubling, again, like literally a doubling of profitability just off of, let's add one downsell to these people who can't afford or who are hemming and hawing. They're not sure if they want to buy our product and service. So lead rate, how much you're generating by generating per client, lifetime value of your customer. So you want to, number one, add upsells, add downsells of any kind you can think of as much as possible across the board. And also, of course, your product and services you're having is upsells and downsells need to actually service the customer. That's crucial. Then number three is customer retention. How long you retain customers for. Whether you have someone who buys a product one time or whether you have someone who's on a subscription, having them become a repeat buyer of, again, more product services, or at least retaining as a customer and taking a look at other pieces of your content, still engaging in your email list, etc. That's huge too, because I believe if you can retain a customer for, I think it's like 3 to 4 months longer. Say if you have like a year long subscription, 3 to 4 months longer. That's like a 30 to like 60% increase in profits off that one customer. So any of these different factors, if people just think about kind of where's the breaking point, where are they losing customers, or where are they acquiring customers the easiest, these are the places where you can identify and go, let's fix this little leaking bucket we have there, and it'll be a huge difference in what a business is able to make.
Okay, so I think while we're giving the answer and everything, you've mentioned a lot of percentages, a lot of numbers. So that means you probably need to have to look at a lot of data and
Yeah.
everything here to make this work. So, how much data specifically do you have to look at to have an informed decision on probably a business or a landing page? And what are you looking for? What are you looking at?
Yep. So it is less than most people think because the data stuff is scary. Trust me. I am not like someone who goes, "Oh, I want to study data. That sounds really fun." It sounds the worst. So really, it breaks down to again the key metrics, the main few metrics that you want to track. Number one is if you're able to track via the CRM or the page you're using. I guess I'll say with all of this, you can use the tools you are using to build stuff. They usually have data built in. So, for example, a CRM or autoresponder usually gives you upfront data on open rates, click-through rates, etc., um, which is great. Stripe and payment processors will often give you data on how long you keep customers for, your churn rate, etc. So you can rely upon those, but I will say before I keep going that I do suggest having a third-party tracking tool because often, like we're saying, there's so many different places I could track how long my customers
Yeah.
stay for. I could use Stripe. I could literally manually, hey, take my last 20 customers, who's still buying, and like manually write down and calculate it out. I'm sure there's a online tool for that, etc. And there's so many different places to look at. So I suggest having a third-party tool. There's two recommendations I suggest: either A, Segmetrics, or B, a company called Hyros. Both Segmetrics and Hyros almost universally track just about everything a business can want. So,
Cool.
from how much your ads or how much your creatives or how much your lead generation is costing you, to how much your customers are spending with you, to how long they're staying for, to all of these different things. So, A, if you can, get a third party tracking tool. Segmetrics is cheaper. I like to go with cheaper options, but Hyros is very good. Now, again, the main metrics you want to focus on and track, and how you do that is for your lead conversion rate. Your lead conversion rate is simply your number of leads generated divided by the number of views. Let me actually double check that's true. I gotta do a quick calculation because it's either that or the reverse. So if I have 100 people visit my page, sorry, 10 people opted in, 100 people, perfect. So for your lead conversion rate, total number of people who opted in divided by the number of people who have seen the page. That will give you your lead conversion rate. People who are viewing to becoming a lead. And then you do the same for if you want, say, for example, your lead to sale conversion rate. You take the total number of customers generated, divide by the number of leads. So, say you have 100 leads and 3 people bought, it would be 3 divided by 100, which would give you 3%. And then what you do is go, okay, well, we have a 3% conversion rate. 3 people bought out of our past 100 leads. And out of those 3 customers, they each spent $1,000. What can we do to double? Let's just double what they spent. Well, if one of them got an upsell of $3,000, just one out of 3, that would double how much the business made. If we can get 10 more of those leads out of 100, or 10 more of those people who are viewing our page to opt in, that'd be double the amount of leads, should be double the amount of customers. So you can calculate it manually, and I don't suggest doing that. But I suggest doing it with a tool. There is some data you can look at for payment processors, your CRMs, what you're using to track stuff or build your web pages and everything else. But again, focus on the main rates of leads being generated, how much those leads are turning to customers, and then how much they're spending with you in total. And then to fine tune them, think about what you would want to see. So, for example, what's going to get me to become a customer with you? It's the speed at which you build like, know, and trust with yourself, with the company, the product and service in question. So what builds like know and trust? Well, the more professional you are, the more professional you feel, the more professional you sound, the more professional you are perceived as. The strength of the offer. So if I'm a consultant and my offer is I will help you get more sales guaranteed, versus my offer is I will double the revenue you're producing in less than 60 days. And if I don't do that, I'll pay you back what you paid me. I'll pay that back double. That's a much stronger offer. So improving your offer is huge. Improving your copywriting is huge across the board. Better copy. I mean, from your checkout cart to your ads to landing pages to sales to everything. Copywriting is going to be your biggest conversion optimization mover by far. There's a lot of different things you can do to just take a look at each of these main areas and then go, okay, if I add social proof across the board. Social proof is huge for increasing conversion rates. Social proof, strength of offer, strength of copy. If you do that across every part of your business, from your website to your content, etc., it's going to be a huge lift in the results that are being produced.
So social proof, the strength of your offer, and the strength of your copy. And
Yep.
funny enough, the episode that came out today was about social proof, user generated content, and
Yep.
reviews. So
That it's powerful because you have to think like the basic actual human psychology. What makes people want to buy? Well, if a lot of people think it's true, most people go, "Oh, a lot of people think it's true. It must be true." Plus, the strength of the person who is saying that. If for example, a bunch of celebrities, talk about a brand, it's not just a lot of people talking about a brand. It's about a lot of authoritative people talking about a brand, and then, oh, if this is just an amazing deal, and a bunch of people are talking amazing about this brand, it's how the foundations of human psychology work in any situation. Think about like if you're with your buddies. If like I just went out golfing to relax before I go speak in Budapest next week, and if you're around a bunch of buddies and they're like, hey, you need to do this, and like, no, I don't want to do that. You're like, come on, stay out for 4 more hours. I don't want to stay out for 4 more hours. I want to go home and sleep and cuddle my dog. No, stay out for 4 more. And then the other buddy chimes in, and the other buddy chimes in, and then your favorite buddy chimes in. Come on, you need to stay. It's the same kind of peer pressure, but with marketing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay. So I think still on this peer pressure you talked about. There are a lot of businesses, especially the ones that want to try and do this optimization, make these improvements themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things I'm sure you've seen a lot of them do that they
Mm-hmm.
feel things that they feel are right or that are good, but to you, you know that those things are mistakes. So, what are some common mistakes you see businesses make when they try to do these optimizations themselves?
The biggest mistake, and this is going to be a little bit tricky to kind of explain, but it's important, is the difference between correlation and causation. Because when you, for example, someone will say, okay, I'm going to optimize the leads that are being produced. And this should raise the overall profitability of my business. If I produce more leads, I should get more customers, which is generally across the board true. But the problem is you could make a change to improve the percent of people becoming leads, and you could see a decrease of the number of people becoming customers. Most people go, well, how is that possible? Well, it's because if you make the wrong change, for example, to give an example of this is, I'm an agency, and our headline is, book a call with us now, and if you're a good fit with, I'm just coming up with this, it's going to be a horrible title. Book a call with us now, and we will double your profits, but warning, we're expensive. You change your copy to, we double everyone's profits regardless of who they are, and we can do it in 30 days or less. And you go way overboard with your offer, and it includes everyone and their mother. It includes everyone possible. Well, you're going to get a lot more people coming in the doors, but the problem is then you're also going to get a lot of people who want a cheaper or free or reduced service. You're going to want more people who want have a strong guarantee, you're going to want more people who aren't of the same quality of lead. So you may, by trying to get more leads, you could decrease the quality of the leads being produced because you opened up your copy to everyone. So that's why, someone may make a change and go, "Oh, I'm getting way more leads, but there's less of them actually buying. What's going on here?" Which is why when you are strengthening your offer, when you are strengthening your copy, when you are strengthening these different elements, it's important to still make sure you are hyper focusing on your target market and you are actually using copy to keep out who you don't want to work with. So, for example, a headline that would be more targeted would be how we book a call now to see how we help 7-figure entrepreneurs scale their business in the next 90 days guaranteed. So then people who are doing less than 6 figures or 7 figures go, that's definitely not me. I'm not going to book a call. So that may reduce the number of people who are opting in, but actually increase overall sales because you're getting more people who are actually resonating with your messaging. So with that being said, you could make a change, and it might, for example, if you just made that change and just walked through, it might increase your overall profits because the end person is more likely to buy. But if you were looking at the rate of people who are opting in, you would go, "Oh, my test of people opting in is lower. That's bad." So it's a confusing kind of dynamic of I make a change and I want this end result, but it could affect these other things as well, which is why having, I believe, third-party tracking is important. Why, if you don't have third-party tracking, keeping very good books and recording. I write down a lot of my different metrics and stuff, like on paper. Keeping track of these things and making sure you have accurate one single split test changes with only one variable change. So one headline. You change one headline, you test it out. You don't change anything else. You add some sort. You see how that does. You calculate then also the overall end profit. Okay, did overall end profit increase or decrease? It increased. Okay, I'm going to change adding CTA next to this button. Don't change anything else. Run people through. Did my overall end profit per lead increase? It did. Great. And keep doing that over time. That's where you're going to be able to make these changes and improve your business over time because, like I'm saying, it can be difficult to identify what change did what. So you can only make one change at a time and then track the overall profit per lead versus just the lead rate increasing because, again, it might be more leads, but it might be less overall money being produced.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay. So, leaving mistakes now, what's one strategy with conversion rate optimization that you've seen that works consistently across different sizes of businesses?
Mm-hmm. I would say reducing what I call is reducing friction. So what that means in marketing sales process funnel terms is whatever your sales process is, you want to make it as easy as possible for people to become a customer as fast as possible. And how you do this is reduce the number of steps it takes to actually get to a checkout cart and purchase. Make it as simple as possible because often, for example, agencies want you to fill out 95 different forms to work with them. Same with consultants, same with coaches. When in reality, you need their name, you need their email, you need to know how much they're willing to invest to grow their business or to make a change in their life or to do whatever you help them with, your customer with. I mean, maybe one or two other things. Are they ready to move forward with this area of expertise now? Other than that, I think a lot of people overcomplicate and think they need to get as much information as possible, which is a good thing. But at scale, if you're running ads, if you really want to grow a business, you do want to reduce it because you only really need so much information to know if someone's going to be a good fit for you. Again, it's if they're willing to spend, how much they're willing to spend with you, who they are, maybe a little bit about their business so you understand them. Past that, you don't need, for example, just forms. You don't need 800 forms. You could use 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And then as well, some processes for becoming a customer. For example, let's just say I sold shoes. I like to buy some shoes lightly. I'm not quite yet a shoe addict. But say the process to buy a really nice limited edition Air Force One, whatever, came out. This is a bad example for what I'm about to tell you, but it still works. And your process was they see your ad, then they have to opt in, then they go to a thank you page saying, thank you for wanting to learn more about the shoe. We have a wait list. You're going to find out about the shoe in the next month. Then later on, there's this whole lengthening of what needs to be ad, they opt in, sales page. Ad, you can even do ad to sales page. So you don't need a thank you page in between. You don't need all these different elements because people think that, and it's partially true, by lengthening your sales process, you do filter out people. But most of the time you filter out so many that you're losing a lot of your actual people who should be buying from you. So reduce the total number of steps it takes to book a call with you. Instead of, for example, like I just went on, there's some email marketing agencies where the only way to work with them is you have to apply. And then after you apply, you go to a thank you page, and then you have a wait, and they're going to contact you. Why not, after they apply, they're directly onto a VSL and sales page saying, great. If you can know whether or not they are qualified to work with you, see this page. Here's how to book our services right now and book our next call right now with us. You want to add on the whole process of having someone be responsible to then reach out to this person, and then reach out to this person, and then schedule a call. We can just go lead, book a call. Much better, much more simple, a lot more leads.
Yes, I agree with you on that. So we've talked mostly about optimizing sales pages, websites, sales funnels. But one thing I think with email is something that we businesses use a lot. I think that was a few episodes ago. So how can email marketing be optimized for better engagement, for better click-throughs, for better conversions? Because that's a struggle a lot of us have.
Yes, and I know that because, like I mentioned, I will be speaking about email marketing in Budapest in 7 days, 8 days.
Ooh.
It is my strong suit. So let's get into it. Number one, I know for a fact the vast majority of businesses and entrepreneurs email their list probably never. The answer is probably never, or it's maybe once a week, once a month. It's very minimal. And people need to stop this for 2 reasons. A, from my experience doing email marketing, which I've done for dozens of businesses and my own, the vast majority of your profits is in your follow-up, is in your email marketing, because your email marketing and follow-up is responsible for turning those leads into customers. And if only, like I said earlier, 1 to 3% of your leads become buyers, you have 97% of them waiting to buy from you. That's 1 to 3% buy right away. That other 97% will buy, or at least 20 to 40% of those will buy. There's always a portion that will never buy. It's just how it is. But the 20 to 40% will buy. That's only done through follow-up, because those people who haven't bought yet haven't built enough like, know, and trust with you or your business. And your only way to build further like, know, and trust is to keep building that relationship. And the only way you can do that is with more communication. So you need to follow up. Number 2, people say to me, they go, oh, but I don't want to spam people. I don't want to email them too much. Well, first of all, you're not emailing them at all. So don't worry, you're not going to spam them. Number two, you need to email them more because A, they're getting messaging and emails from other businesses that are competing against you every single day, twice a day. B, you know how many other distractions you are competing against? You're competing against them fighting with their spouse. You're competing against their kids. You're competing against their job. You're competing against so many other factors You have to break through the noise, and the only way you break through the noise, the only way you do that is through following up more often. So first of all, just the reason why I'm saying all this is frequency. Frequency needs to be a number one, because that's the biggest thing is you're just not emailing. And I know that because every person I talk to does not email their list. And I'm like, all of your money you want, your growth is just sitting there for you, waiting to happen. So number one is frequency. You must do it because there's insane amounts of competition. Your competitors are doing it. Your good competitors are emailing more often. And more communication only will turn more of your leads into customers. Now, B, if you want to do it in a way that's going to perform exceptionally well, what I would do is A, email more often, and B, you want to segment who you are emailing. So you don't email your customers the same way you email your leads. And you don't email customers the same as you would people who have been purchasing with you for 5 years. Because they need different types of information because where they're at in their customer journey is different from each other. So a lead shouldn't get emails about your most expensive, best product ever necessarily right away. They need an intro product. And then if they don't purchase the intro product, then you can keep segmenting them and emailing them a different product until they purchase. You keep emailing them a different product over and over and over. Then your customers don't need to get your intro product because they already purchased that. So they need to get your upsells, your downsells, your resells. And then people who have bought all of them need some really, really high ticket nurturing email sequence to retain them because you want to retain those customers. I suggest people create a customer retention sequence, which no one does. You don't even email your list. Imagine if you had a customer retention sequence just for thanking people for working with you. Here's a free gift. Here's a free bonus. Here's a free this. Hey, here's a how-to guide on how to use this product better or use their service better. Have 20, 30, 40 days or emails worth of, we appreciate you. Here's this. I love you so much for you investing with us. Here's how to do this. Nurture your customers and nurture your leads to become customers. So segmenting is huge. Frequency is important. And if I was to give one more, I'll preface my speech in Budapest. You need to understand more clearly that your job is not to sell to your audience, ever. Your job is to nurture and build like, know, and trust as fast as possible. And I said that a few times. It's because it's true. It's because if someone likes, knows, and trusts you, and you have a really good offer, they're going to buy no matter what. So your job is not to go, hey, I have a really good deal. Come buy this. Your job is to go, hey, here's a way you can use this and get the absolute best result that you're looking for. Again, it could be for a business. It could be for someone wanting to lose weight. It could be for someone wanting to gain more confidence. You name it. Whatever it is, whatever their main pleasure point is and main pain point is, you want to target those, but not in a way that you're selling them with your deal, your discount, your offer, your bonuses, but in a way that you actually are helping and giving value, zero charge. So you have an issue such as I want to lose weight. Here's a hour-long video podcast I did with Chuck or Betsy on how you can lose weight. Now, I may reference my product throughout it. Say, hey, throughout this podcast or VSL or sales page I send to them, you can reference it. But the main majority of it is, here's some free, amazing value on drink more water. Literally, if you drink more water, eat more protein, make sure you're getting these main things, you'll lose weight faster at this rate. And here's how it works. Give that in your follow-up. Give other freebies, just load up as much value as possible in your follow-up. And by doing that, they will naturally buy your product and services. You almost want selling to be the secondary thing you do. The first thing you're doing is always nurturing, helping, giving value. Sell last, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Interesting. So email more frequently,
Yes.
segment your leads, have a retention sequence, and your job is to nurture and build KLT, not to sell.
Yes. Never. Again, there is place for a sell, but the sell should be absolutely last because they aren't ready to buy until they've been nurtured. So selling them is actually hurting them because you're not you haven't brought them to the point of where they're ready to buy yet. They have to get there mentally, and then it works so much better. So much better.
Okay, so you've mentioned the building the know, like, and trust factor a couple of times in a couple of answers. So, what are some ways a business owner can build this know, like, and trust factor easily?
What you want to do is you want to appear, feel, and sound professional, likable, and trustworthy, and as an authority. And there's a lot to break down because that's just a brand answer. And what that means is I'm trying to describe it right. So in all of your marketing, in your advertising, in your content, when you're on a podcast, when you're ever seen, your content should be the cleanest. It should look the nicest. There should be an authenticity felt. You should have really good copywriting. You need to somehow make the people feel and hear and see the exact type of business they would want to purchase from in the way that you help their customer. And you do that through copywriting. You do that through the quality of your audio. You do that through the quality of your content you're producing on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube. You do that through anything that is visually or audibly or felt, kinesthetic, which is kind of hard to describe but doable. You do that in all communication and everything that's seen. So what I suggest for people and how you actually do that is basically upgrading all of those elements. What is seen, what is heard, and what is felt in your marketing. For example, when people hear me, my strongest emotion felt is I'm really authentic, because I am just authentic. I'm not trying to sell people. I'm not trying to whatever. I'm just speaking off the cuff, straight from my mind, exactly what I'm thinking. There's no preconceived ideas. I'm not trying to pull one on anything. I'm just being myself. And you feel that. And the reason why you feel it, because you have to think about what is authentic. Well, am I being real with my audience? Am I being honest with my audience? Am I just being myself with my audience? Is your follow-up being honest, transparent, authentic, powerful, resounding? You want to upgrade your graphics or what everything looks like. So again, that's like if you're in video, better lighting. If you're in audio, better microphone. If you're producing content, same thing. If you are, you have articles you're producing, take a look at what is best in marketplace. Like if you were to take a look at who does podcasts the best, who does social media posts about their dogs the best, all these different things. Study and duplicate and customize for you what they're doing, because that's going to be resoundingly extremely successful, because you're already copying what already works, you're putting it for your own business. And a lot of these businesses like that are like your strongest competitors, or who would be like the top in your space, they've mastered that. It's difficult to describe everything because it goes into elements of like design, spacing, colors, all of these different factors. How you speak, the tempo of writing, the tempo of speaking, pausing, length, strength of how you speak, and all these different things are all factors of how all communication is interpreted, which build like no trust. So there's a lot to this. We've uncovered quite a few different things, but in general, if I was to summarize it up, study the best in your space and duplicate it with your own personality and your own authenticity in your ads and your marketing, your sales process and everything. And just be yourself. Be yourself and put a lot of your own personality into it. And that will perform exceptionally well, building like no trust.
That's really good advice. And I think this is one of the episodes I'll listen to more than once.
Good. I hope so. We've gone through a lot, and I think we've shared some really good stuff. And it sounds like a lot, but I want people to know that the best thing you can do after listening to this is apply one.
Yes.
Because, I have to do split tests, and now I have to, change how I communicate all my video and my content. Oh, I need to do this and build like no trust. All of these things will help. So write down and create a list of what you think and resonated with you that was the most important. So whatever resonated, maybe what resonated with you was just cleaning up how your brand appears. I need to get better lighting. I need to look better visually. I need to clean up better. I need to produce content that looks better with design wise. Do that first. Then go, okay, now that I've done that, what's the next most important, impactful that I think will be the most important for generating customers and leads in my business? And then go down that list. And that list alone of just upgrading kind of your marketing, your advertising, your content, your social profiles, is much better than going, there's all these different things I can do. Maybe I do this, a little bit of that. Choose one, focus one, do one, see how it does, repeat. And as you do that, you'll upgrade and level up your entire business from front to back.
Great. Okay, so can you give us a bit of, let's just go back to where we should have started. I usually like bringing this to the end. Can you just give us a bit about your background and how you got to this point doing what you do?
Yes, I got started when I was about 12 years old. My dad turned to digital marketing and running his own business to get my family out of living in someone else's basements and welfare apartments. So it was a good struggle, but it ended up causing a really, really great amount of things to happen. So my dad got me into it because I used to watch over his shoulder and I saw kind of the entrepreneur lifestyle that everyone showed. So like I saw like Ty Lopez when that big famous ad came out. I saw Grant Cardone at the time, Tony Robbins, a lot of traveling and lifestyle and being your own boss and all these different things. And I kept seeing that over and over and over again. And I wanted that because the situation my family came from wasn't that. It was, I used to unplug nightlights to save on electricity because my parents were arguing so much about money. So I'm like, I need to unplug these because that too, I want to travel the world, live in an amazing house, do what I want. That would be amazing. If I could do 10% of that, that would be life changing. So I saw that, and as the years went by, I used to watch my dad over the shoulder as he was generating traffic and creating content. I started learning more and more about it. Around 15, I started my own business with a friend from school. He said he was a designer, so he designed a website. We designed stuff. Failed miserably. It was horrible. Lost like 2-3 grand. I'm like, well, I need more money. So I got the only job I worked at, which was at Walmart for 6 months. And then I used that to fund a new business, start again. Saw success around 16 to 18, probably 20 to 23. Started really picking up. Started doing some more speaking, a lot more traveling. Started getting my own personality, my own brand, my own feel. I started learning more and more and more and actually applying. And then probably the past 2 years has been really, really, really insightful, great, successful as I've kind of worked with some bigger names, Frank Kern, Investment Joy, Marketer Hire, School, many other pretty big brands. And I've gotten more experience, and then it's just kind of taken off from nothing to something. And Budapest is going to be an extra something on the 3rd through the 8th.
Amazing. Okay, so is there anything else you would like to share with our audience looking to optimize their business? Maybe something I've not talked about or I've not asked about, but you feel would be important to them?
Could I share 2 quotes?
Yes, you can.
Two quotes. They're business related because all business is from your mindset and deciding what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and doing it in the most profitable way possible. So the first one is aspire for progress, hunger for success, and strive for greatness, which simply means forward, move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward more, move forward faster, move forward with more passion. And then your attitude is not defined by your life. Your life is defined by your attitude. It simply means you get to decide at all times what your life means to you, what something happening with the family, with a friend, with your business, with anything going on, what that means to you. It doesn't have to mean this horrible thing that happened. It doesn't have to mean you have to be depressed. It doesn't have to mean you have to treat people badly. You can decide this horrible thing happened to me. I'm going to be an even better person because of it. I'm going to be a more passionate, loving, amazing, giving person because of it. All this business thing that just happened, like we've had before, our payment processor shut down, and $10,000 held, frozen, gone. We can't access it. Well,
Oh,
that sucks. That sucks. We recently worked with 2 SEO agencies We spent $60,000 in about 5 months. They produced zero growth in our business.
Whoa.
60 G's is not fun to lose. I can tell you that. What you have to go with is either we can whine and be sad and be upset about it, which sometimes we do, but the majority of time what we can do is go, okay, we hire these agencies. This really sucked. We learn from it. We can grow from it. How do we make this money back? How do we provide more for our customers in a way that they want to spend more with us? How do we improve other areas of our business so we can double what we lost the 60 G's with this business? So you get to decide what everything means at all times, and that means you can be the best version of you all the time.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So, for our listeners who have enjoyed this episode, like I have enjoyed it, and maybe they want to learn more from you, probably they are curious about your events in Budapest. I think this should be coming out around the time you will be having
It will
the
be.
events.
I will be. Let me double check real quick. I think I will be actually. I will be there. I will be there.
Yeah, so for listeners who want to learn more about you, to connect with you and all that, what's the best way, or what are the best ways they can reach you?
Go to profitalize.com, profitalize.com. And if you want to grow your business or you want to start your own business, I have the complete A to Z course, one-on-one mentorship, and everything you need to grow or start your own business all in one place. Or go to jonweberg.com and just learn about me. Go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Jon Weberg. Look me up, watch my content, learn from me. But mainly go to profitalize.com if you want to start or grow your own business. I'll show you exactly how, step by step, how to drive leads, how to turn those leads into customers, how to get those customers to spend more money with you, and then how to take that money, invest it in the growth of your business, and then live freely, like I've done for probably almost 10 years now. I'm getting there. 26, so I'm getting there, but I'm for a while now, and I just want to help people, give to people. So if you don't want to spend money with me, that's great. Go to YouTube. Either you got the Profitalize is paid. You want the free content, go to YouTube and just subscribe, watch, and I hope I was able to give you people some really good stuff today.
Yeah, you were definitely. So, profitalize.com, johnweberg.com, youtube.com/@Jon Weberg. So,
Yep.
they would all be on the screen in the show notes once this episode goes live. So, thank you so much, John, for coming on. Thank you so much for sharing today.
Thank you as well. I appreciate you.
So, for the listeners, for the watchers, did you get any value from this episode on optimizing your business, on making more profits while spending less in advertising, on changes you can make, all the tips? If you did, then please share it with someone else who you know would benefit from this episode. And if you want to be the first person to know when we come out with helpful content like this for your business, don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe wherever you see us, wherever you hear us on. So this would be episode 93. So we have one episode a week. So that means you can listen to 15 a day. And till next week when we come with a brand new episode, don't forget to go through the old episodes and keep taking your business. Bye for now.
Perfect.